Hello there.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Um, how are you today, my friend?
Um, I'm good. I'm going to tell you a funny anecdote to get started, because
Please.
it just happened, and it's just one of those like funny moments where you're like,
Yeah.
ah, and it's a real like girl thing.
Yep.
It's been very windy here. My couch cover blew off. I was out there retying it, and I want to shout out Color Camp. They have these like stick on, which is very reminiscent of my childhood. You can like glue on these nails and they're lovely and they've been very functional. I lost a fucking thumbnail putting this couch cushion back on, and it was a moment of like, ah!
When did you how long have you had this set on?
It's been about a week. It's been a little over a week, and they've lasted really well. And the thing with these that makes them so enticing is that you can reuse them. Like you soak them off,
Ah.
and then you can reuse them at a later date. Now that I'm down a thumbnail, though,
Oh no. Oh no. Um,
um,
R.I.P.
yeah. I
R.I.P.
mean, it's
Thumbs down, Kendra.
yeah. So
That's
that's my Wednesday anecdote. How are you?
um I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's been good. I think I've been recatching a little bit of my natural rhythm in terms of um, sleeping habits and patterns. So I've been able to find more quiet hours at the end of the day, which has been really nice. And it's been just a nice lock-in period for me to reflect on the day, to read, to just sort of have time where notifications aren't popping up on my phone, and I can have some time. So I'm feeling good. It's led to a later start in the days, which sometimes makes
Mm.
me like triggers triggers like, oh, you're being lazy, or like, oh, you're not doing enough. So I'm working through that. But we talked about it yesterday. I started How to Do Nothing,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
and I'm really enjoying it thus far. I read the introduction, How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell, Resisting the Attention Economy. But it helped, I think, put a name to some of these things that I've been feeling. We talked about it a little bit,
Mm.
but this question of, well, am I doing enough? Am I being productive enough? Am I, what how do I measure that? How do I understand my value
Is
if
what
I'm
am I creating actually going to
Mhm.
be monetizable? Is that a word?
Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
works in here.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I'm feeling good. Like I catch it in those waves, but like I know that I feel better when I have time to decompress and reflect on the day, at the end. And if that means I'm up a
Mhm.
little bit later, and it means I get up a little bit later, I'm fortunate enough to be able to move things around. And
Yep.
so I think if anything, it's maybe it's like, do your thing, like catch your rhythm, like how you work,
Mhm.
how you live. And I think again, it's the we've lived in a more formalized capitalist structure when people
Mhm.
were reporting into offices where people had to show up. I think if you look at the companies, that are changing their models. So Spotify is changing to a, work from home hybrid model, but that's going to be
Mm.
what they do going forward. I think it will give us more space to work in the way that we're supposed to work. Like
Mhm.
9 to 5 is not a normal thing. That's not how our
Right.
bodies work. That's not how, like, so in thinking about how many of the things that we do by habit that, again, are not our intention and are not serving our agenda, but are serving the agenda of someone who wants us to make money for them or
Yep.
create value for them in some way. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about the book. I read the first chapter last night, and I I just love that she's a creative and that she really puts it into perspective
yep.
as a creative and in the context of people that create.
Yep.
Um, and even taking that beyond, like she references throughout the first chapter this rose garden that she goes
Mm,
to all the time, and thinking about that is like somebody created this thing for the sake of people to just freely come and enjoy and be in. Um, so I'm excited to keep going in that book.
yeah. That really that I'm excited to get to that get to that part. But even just that idea of thinking about rose gardens, botanical gardens, sort of these structures is like
public spaces that are just to be enjoyed without trying to have consumers come and buy something in the space or from the space. Yeah.
And that it's interesting because I think it's to think about what our version of that is. Like we each individually can make a rose garden. We each individually can make a botanical garden. I think in some ways the space that we're in right now, is the rose garden that you and I have been tending to and thinking of over the last several years. But I really like the concept of what happens if we make things in which people can just be themselves, in which you don't have to show up, you don't have to bring all of this, but you can just be. I love that.
Yeah. Contemplative spaces.
Necessary.
Yeah.
Necessary.
Yeah.
Because again, there's still a lot happening.
Yeah.
There's still a lot going on right now. And it's like, it feels, in some ways, like I know that my response has slowed, since the election, since the inauguration in the last couple of months, but global pandemic still going on.
All still happening. Yeah.
Lots, the acute questions of right now with all the storms that are going on, people that don't have heat, don't have power, are like figuring out how to feed themselves. And then for those people who can't keep the power on because they're out of work, and so it's like, there's a lot in this time, for us that we need to balance out because it's stressful. It's very difficult.
My intention for the day for this meditation is kind of a continuation from what we've been talking about this week. And we've been talking about this idea of aparigraha, non-grasping. And we've talked about it in a few different contexts. It's fun to pick these things apart and plug them in different scenarios. The one that popped up today for me that is something that is a lifelong journey lesson for me to be working on is not taking things personally.
Ooh.
Yeah. And this is like, I have my dad in my ear on this and like, don't take things so personally. Stop being so sensitive. Like that is on repeat in my head. And yeah, like it is, think about how much suffering we take on in ourselves when we project worries that we have or expectations that we have because we are personalizing someone else's experience onto our experience. And if we can loosen the grip that we have on maybe that person was just having a bad day, or maybe this thing that this person has going on has absolutely nothing to do with me. And most of the time it is that. So yeah, that's kind of the intention that I want to work with today is how can we, even within our own thoughts, filter through the things that are on repeat and on a loop in our head that are just us taking other things on from other people personally.
Yep. Needed that.
So I want to give us some space today with our meditation to just notice if there is anything we are holding on to that's maybe not ours, or that feels like we can loosen the grip we have on it just to get a little bit of objectivity and perspective. So really just creating space today to listen and be with this feeling of non-grasping with the lens of not taking things personally. So let's sit up nice and tall. Take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it out through your mouth. Do that again. Big inhale. And exhale. One more time. Big inhale. And this time as you exhale, keep your chest lifted, drop your chin to your chest, taking an easy swing with your head side to side. Loosen up your neck, loosen up your jaw. And come back to center, lift your chin, inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Grab your right wrist and exhale, stretch to the left. Inhale back up to center, switch your grip. Exhale, other side. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, release your hands to your knees. Let's do a few sitting cat cows. Big inhale, lift your chest, reach your shoulders back. You can glance up, just keep your neck long. As you exhale, pull on your knees, round your spine, drop your head. Big stretch across your shoulder blades. And again, big inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, pull on your knees, round your spine. One more, inhale. And exhale. Come back up to center, get comfortable. When you're ready, close your eyes. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Tuck your chin just a little bit to lengthen the back of your neck. Lift your chest, release your shoulders down away from your ears. Soften your belly. And settle your hips. As you get still, notice where your attention is in this moment. Notice any noises, any thoughts, any feelings, any physical sensations. And welcome all of these distractions into this moment so you can really get clear about where your attention is. Settle into a long, even pace with your breath. Now bring your awareness to hearing. What do you hear in this moment? And you're not thinking about hearing. I want you just to listen and let your awareness be listening. So notice any and all sounds. And see if you can find the space between the sounds. Now unhook your awareness from listening and drop it down into your heart center, right in the middle of your chest. In this space, we get to connect with our true self, the part of us that is connected to God, the universe, nature, each other. And from this space, we can start to explore any parts of us that are feeling pulled or triggered. And see if you can call up any parts of yourself that are maybe taking anything personally. Maybe you feel like you're making excuses for another person, or you're making excuses for yourself to justify your worth with another person. And feel safe that it is okay to hold yourself in your heart center. Hold these parts of you without judgment, without shame. Maybe see what they need. Maybe as these parts of you get some attention, they can start to feel a little safer and a little more at ease, that they don't need to take things personally. Hold yourself in this for the next couple of minutes and let yourself just do some exploring. See what's here as you listen. Gently deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes, waking your body back up. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your chest and take an inhale. As you exhale, bow your chin to your chest, acknowledging your inner teacher and this open-hearted, unconditional, loving space that is always here. It's always available to tap into for support. Namaste. All right. So if you have some time, if it feels appropriate and you want to write anything down that came up, there might be some insights there to pay attention to. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be back at 5:15 Pacific time for Stretch and Recovery. And we'll be back again next week. Thank you so much for joining.